Call the meeting to order and stand for the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, get a motion to accept the minutes on July 6th. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Motion for the financial report and payment of the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. No budget amendments. Wait, you have one budget amendment, Steve?
Yes, I do. Budget amendment number 2012-001 is to recognize $1,500 of seized funds to be used for police undercover activities. The funds are first seized and they're forfeited to the town and their budget to be used for undercover activities.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept budget amendment 2012-001?
So moved.
Second.
Have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Anything, Lewis? Anybody have any old business?
Yes.
No.
Wanted to bring up to what's going on with the bridge that we talked about on Delaware Avenue. If we have any more information back on the bridge on Delaware Avenue, trying to get a
Yeah, it
walkway.
was referred to by the District 2 engineer to the Bridge Division, and I think I thought I copied you on that email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just reporting out
Yes.
where we at with that.
Referred to the Bridge Division.
But I also contacted Delegate Rudolph, and Delegate Rudolph also contacted Terry, the State Highway. Yeah, so, and they're doing some studies and stuff like that on it, and they're supposed to get back with him. So once they get back with him, then I'll hope he'll get back with us. So we got him involved.
Okay. And second, on the recreation center, we had a work session done on our last meeting last Wednesday. Last Wednesday? Yeah, last Wednesday, and there was two different locations that were, our developers came in and gave presentations on two different sites. Right now, the board's at the position where we're looking at whether or not we can fund it or whether we can push forward with one of the two different sites. It just was a presentation, and we haven't done anything else on that. So that's where we're at with the recreation center.
And while we're on that old business, I was going to bring up the same. So the property behind, what's the name of the street? Mackin Street. How much land is there in total, Lois? Did you ever look into that?
It's 2 acres.
That's 2 acres. And
Partially forest.
What?
and even though at this point it's not consideration, and it could always be because we haven't, put a stamp on anything. How much land is beside the wastewater plant? How much vacant land is there?
Yeah, excluding the land leased to Historic Elk Landing Foundation, I believe there's 10 acres. I checked on that for the unit part of it, but I think it's 10 acres.
Close.
That's just the leased property. I mean, just our property, not
That we own, that we
that
don't
we own.
lease.
Right.
That's the 10 acres.
Right.
The other properties in the under lease agreement with the Historic Elk Landing Foundation.
No, you talking about 10 acres minus the water plant, or 10 acres plus?
I'm talking about 10 acres that's unused.
That's all. Thanks.
That's all I have.
Yes, just one thing in particular. Some time ago, I asked, because I got questioned about it from residents, for the Elkton Alliance to be, to have a presentation of, I guess, the state of their department, kind of like a statement of, finances and where things were being spent and how things were being moved forward. Whatever happened to that?
Can I answer that question? A letter was sent back from the chairman of the board asking when and what you would like, and there has not been a response.
The letter was sent to the board or to me or?
To the mayor
Oh.
a while back.
Came here, I didn't get it, but I don't recall.
And I believe also at our town meeting, or I'm sorry, not at our town meeting, at the Alliance meeting, it was questioned when also.
Okay.
Well, maybe we can just set up a meeting quarterly or something like that. If you want to have him talk to Nelson to see if we can meet on quarterly, if you'd like to make a report quarterly.
Well, that's up to you and Nelson. That's the board's decision, not
Well,
mine.
I'll get hold of Nelson and I'll ask him, maybe if you want to do it, how often would you like it done? I mean,
Well, it is.
quarterly or?
Well, I was thinking at least maybe, once a fiscal year, just,
Oh, okay.
it's just something somewhat like what the housing authority presented. Of course, that coincided with the that particular month, the housing, the affordable housing month. But yeah, just to give a state of kind of like the department and what's going on. Just once a year would be good, I think, just for the information of the residents and so forth.
Okay. Well, maybe like half a year, then at the year end.
That's fine.
Okay, we can ask him to do that. That's good. Okay. Lewis, I think I have, is, you went down to the water plant, or the sewer plant with Kovac, and you said something about replacement of one motor or pump. Are someone going to be able to get that grant? If not, if we don't get the grant, do we have to still replace those?
I just spoke with the representative of the grantor. It's an $85,000 grant. The grant originally was written to have 2 VFDs installed there in addition to some lighting, an upgrade of some lighting fixtures and a refrigerator and so on and so forth. But with the engineer, with the visiting engineer yesterday at the surface water treatment plant, actually one of the 2 motors that were proposed to have VFD, which is variable frequency devices, I guess is what that stands for, that would allow these things operated other than on or off. One motor is too old to accommodate that, so I've gone back to the grantor and said, we can't use 2 VFDs, we need a new motor and actually 2 VFDs and another pump. So we're in the process of seeing if we can have the grant rewritten to accommodate what we need to have done here.
Good. It'd be good if we can get the grant, pay for them. Just a reminder, tomorrow evening we have the Hartford Cecil MML dinner here. And dinner will be at 7. Also tomorrow, the open house is the Senior Services Fair will be tomorrow, 12 to 3, and Sunday, August the 7th, 12 to 3. Seen some people moving in there, so if anybody gets a chance, stop over tomorrow. We'll have an open house and take a tour of the new senior center. Along with that, I received a letter from Dave Holden in regards to that. It said, "Dear Mayor Fasona, I'm writing to express our appreciation for the support that you and the town commissioners provided for the Elkton Senior Apartments when we presented the project concept to you more than 2 years ago. Your willingness to waive the $65,000 in building permit fees and allow us to defer payment of the major facility charges until completions were critical to the project receiving funding and to the ultimate success. We are reaching the completion of the project, and per our agreement with the town of Elkton, we are now providing a $769,500 payment for the major facility charges. Our check here is now enclosed. Thank you for everything." So I think that was a worthwhile project.
Yeah, I'd like to add on that. I think the board, 4 of us who were here then and made that decision to waive those fees, was a great business deal for the town of Elkton. We've made over $700,000 in 2 years, and I don't know where you can make money like that anywhere. So I think we did a good decision there.
Well, it turned out to be a really worthwhile project, and I think we all can be proud of it. Be right downtown, and an additional 70 or 60 more residents in town be able to shop and go downtown and use our parks and so forth. So I think that's great. Okay, that's all I have. Mary Jo?
I don't have anything.
Earl?
One comment, who regulates the rules that we have out at the Eder Park? 'Cause I've started walking out there and I've noticed, I know the bags are sometimes there for the dumping of the dogs, but there's more dumping than usual down there now. Who is the one that polices that?
Eder Park?
Yeah, Meadow Park.
Oh, Meadow Park.
The Parks and Rec Director puts bags out there, but the policing of it with respect to law enforcement issues would be the responsibility of the Elkton Police Department.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to say about that other than we got more complaints now about people not cleaning up their dog mess. And I've been out there when I actually see people, but by that time, going up and saying, hey, you need to clean that up. It doesn't work.
Is there still signage out there?
That's what I was thinking.
Huh?
Is there signage?
We've got
for-
sign, we got the
They
bags,
buy the
the
bags?
bags of the
Yeah,
sign,
we
the
had,
bags.
we did it, we went to took the initiative and put
Right.
a couple stations up out there
Yeah.
for the bags.
Yeah.
Hoping that, and we stock them too, so try to make it convenient.
I'm just bringing up what I seen, and the other thing is the dogs on leash. Kids out there playing, the dogs here. They have 2 or 3 dogs running any old way, and once they're ready to dump, they dump right in the middle of the field where the kids are playing, and they take off to their owners. So I mean, those are the things I'm just asking. If they're policing it, then I just want to know who was supposed to be in charge of doing that. That's it.
Well, I can understand, like you're saying, the bags are out there, but sometimes you need a little sign or something out there to bring the people's attention.
There's a sign.
There's sign.
That sign out there.
There's signs all the way around
I
there.
remember.
Please clean up your dog waste or something like that.
How about in the parking areas when they're getting out of their vehicles? Is there any sign? I don't believe there's signage with those.
I'll have to check. I know we put signs out there and we put the dog things
Right.
in the parking area.
Right.
So when people do get out there, it's the dog stuff. So, but I don't know if we can make people better than they are.
Yeah.
Put all the signs up you want, but if they don't pay attention to them, then,
Yeah, but a lot of times, somebody else would say, hey, did you see that sign over there? That's the reason why I was just asking. Sometimes it's a small sign, you can always claim you don't see it, but,
But I think what he's asking
Yeah, just-
is that,
Signs there.
we're gonna, the signs there,
Nobody's
everything's
there
in
to
place,
police.
but we're gonna have to, it's gotta be policed some kind of way. Because you're getting complaints.
I don't mean a police officer sitting out there
No,
watching
just
somebody make dump.
Enforce.
Dump.
Enforce.
Again,
On that subject, when I'm in Florida, we take our dog to parks, but in the park, they have an area fenced off for the dogs. That's the only place you're allowed to take them. You can't take them in the whole park.
They're putting, there's one in Delaware also. They're
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
dog
yeah,
park
yeah,
separate
there is one.
from.
Delaware.
Where the people are walking and things.
Yeah.
Orange Hill there, they've got one up there in Orange
Yeah.
Hill.
And then the bags are right there.
Right.
And that's for segregated part of the park to, but that would,
We have to amend an ordinance, but we could do that if you want to.
something we can consider and look at. Okay, Charlie?
A few things. Mary Jo, how's the Boys and Girls Club coming? I saw some people over there working today. And I
Yeah,
spoke
they're
with you
looking
about
at
that.
a completion date for the end of September.
Oh, they are?
Yes. They're in there now doing the renovations. All the supplies were ordered yesterday for the porch. So they're moving forward.
That's great. That's a good time to coincide with the opening of school.
Yeah, we were hoping for the start of school, but the people that we're working with can't, it won't be done.
Lewis, also at the end of North Street, just prior to Elkton Middle School, there's a sign and it's defaced and maybe, you can take care of that to get that,
Crossing thing?
that something right there, I forget what it was.
It's a 25 mile an hour speed limit sign that's been vandalized.
No, it has to.
No, it's not vandalized. It's been defaced with spray paint or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll notify Kenny Bender.
You know. And police were out there the other day, and that was good. They was out there standing on foot, with the measurement in their hands. The souvenirs, you gonna give them some kind of memos tomorrow night when you host the MML?
We were going to give them the mugs, but they're not going to be here, so we made up a form, had Louis make up a form. If anyone wants one, they'll fill out the form,
Yeah.
leave it with us. Once we get the mugs in, we'll make sure they get one.
They're all hands going.
No.
The street light up here on North Street, it needs a shield, a glass up here, or is that light supposed to be like that?
Which one?
The green light.
It's broken.
That's what I
Glass
said.
is broken.
So,
At high north.
right. And Chief, you remember on the job the other night, Elkton High School had a burglar alarm. Of course, nobody from the school responded. They respond later, and thankfully, the custodian, when he arrived, the policemen were walking through the building. Nothing was wrong, but it showed that they were Johnny on the spot. So that's good that they are doing that. And Lois, I understand your wife's sick. Glad you made it back. Hope she's doing fine. That's it.
No,
Oh, I like to have a closed meeting, discuss personnel,
no, no.
and it won't be long.
No, we'll do that with this time, we'll get a motion. Becky?
So I don't have to call, just be called.
All right. We'll have a motion as soon as we get this done.
You send me an email. You did.
Hello, Mr. Harmon.
Hi, Miss Becky.
Hey, how's it going with me? I'm from this town, from Northeast, really. Now, it's all done in this town by the Joneses, McCoys, and the Kennys. My two uncles, great uncles, built the armory. I don't know who did it, but right now I'm in court with it. You realize that the sign over there isn't right. But somebody builds something and they put their heart and soul in it, and they die in war, fighting for your country. That building's theirs. That don't belong to Elkton. It belongs to McCoys and Joneses and Kennys. It's gonna cost me a lot. When I'm done, I have it done the right way. I'm hurt, I'm very upset. I was out visiting Collinsworth Manor today. I still have problems. Cars, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, parked on Row 6. Dope, 11-year-old child on Row 14, selling it. Mother and father health officer. I called the health department and mostly asked them, please help me. Well, we can't, Miss McKinney. I said, evidently you don't care about children. Yes, we do. They're kids. I said, no, a kid is a billy goat. In my days, you're children. We're not goats. I said, okay, thank you, and God bless you. I hung up. I called the state office. Got Mr. Johnson on the phone. He's very, very, very disgusted and very upset. I was visiting some things in the Manor today. I got a pension, I got a base. I got a very base. A police department, 2 sheriff departments, and 2 state polices. One of them's related to me by my husband's first name, last name Holmes. Went down back and come down and right up my street that I was sitting on and right by me with the cars full. And the little child, I'm sorry. But this is, Upton Police is doing the best they can do. Another thing I discussed with the town of Upton, Mr. Lewis, when Mr. Hicks was working for the town of Elkton, I'd be out walking, and he knows it, every day, the whole manor. I write tags, numbers down, things, pictures, and showing what was going on, did I not? I'm not scared of nobody. I'm just a little Irishman. Don't make me mad, because the fire comes out. I do have bad health, of course, from what I had. It's worse. But I'll make it by the grace of God. But nothing. This man, I don't know his name. Really don't care to discuss it because I'm not too upset. My heart's bothering me anyway. It was carrying on today. This man that took Mrs. Hicks's place is nothing but, excuse me, no good. He has done nothing to help clean up nothing in the town of Elkton. Trash, not in the cans, not in bags, all over the road. 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. Hello, Mama. Hi, how are you? I'm going home, Mama. I'm going to High Street. I said goodbye. Have a nice evening. Politeness gets you a long ways. They don't understand what I'm there for, but politeness gets you through what you're trying to do and get cleaned up. And I want to thank the chief of the police department did a wonderful job last 2 weeks in Hollingsworth Manor. Wonderful job. High Street, chief, it's getting bad. High Street, baseball fields down where I live in, is full. Teenagers, women, men. The man on the motorcycle or whatever you want to call it, punch bogey or push bogey or whatever he is even dealing with it. I really do not think in my heart, in my soul, with God helping me, I don't think that nowadays if school's out because the children have summer, you understand me? We had an 11-year-old girl this morning that was handgun threatened and thrown in a car. We just headed to Mexico. We won't get that far because I know where he's at. I've been hinted to it. So he's not going to get very far to hurt a handicapped child, you know. But my feelings is, I'm not here to fight for me, because I can fight for me. Joe, you know that. I can take care of me, and I can handle the next one with it.
Yeah.
But, thank you. But I'm here to worry about the children. I mean, I had a rough life. I lost my whole family. My husband, my son, his wife, 7 grandchildren. My daughter and her husband, and 7 grandchildren. All at one time, while I'm working. Wasn't for Mary Jo, I would probably still have spells with my heart and nervous breakdowns because she keeps me busy and makes me happy, especially when we have our false fest. Because I love dealing with our children. They're very beautiful.
Well, Becky, you do know that we're really working very hard to try to get a recreational building and somewhat in the town, so that if we can achieve that, I think that will help you out a lot, because we will be able to take care of all the children and we'll have activities and stuff within that building.
Right.
So that will help us. I mean, we are definitely trying, so we are working at it.
Yeah,
So, I mean, we are looking at it.
It's just like worry, you know, of the night. I mean, I can hear 11, 12 o'clock where I live, even with my air conditioner. Hello, I'm down here.
You know, you got the parents. The parents have to accept some responsibilities.
Well, the parents today, honey,
No.
aren't like our parents was.
No.
So we can have one up.
We can't do much about that.
Forget it.
Yeah, we're not their parents, and we can't get involved with that. So the parents' responsibility.
Right, but
So-
I think what we should do is the parents cannot take care of their children and raise them the right way. Then we all step in together. We take them away from them. We put the parents in jail for about 9, 10 years. Excuse me, you can't take care of your child and raise the right way with respect to respect other people and teach it manners and love it and play with it and do things with it, then you don't need it. You
Well,
don't
again,
need to
that's-
use a chop.
That's a different area, Becky, and that has to do with another service type.
Man,
thing,
my
so-
heart breaks,
I know.
Joe. I sat there all night in my room with my door locked and my alarm on it, crying because I hear these little kids out there knowing that this man's out there with them
Well, the only best
and
thing,
riding around chasing them.
best thing you can do is if you know the people, you have problems, you notify the children's welfare, so contact social services, and they will, should be
They
able
don't
to
like
handle it.
me. I done looked over
So
there.
you gotta contact them, okay? All righty.
But I do appreciate what the chief has done and what's being done in Hollingsworth Manor. We need to straighten up High Street. It's worse than what it was, very bad. And so is the back at Meadow Park. It's really bad. They're using our field behind us where I live to walk through there and stand there, 11, 12, and 13 years old, and so, no, the parents need put the penalty for 50 years in pen and their children taken to a home that loves them.
Okay,
And I appreciate if we could do something to
All right.
help me.
thank you. Thank you. Mr. Litzenberg?
Bob Litzenberg, 105 Walnut Lane, Shelton. Got a lot of questions here. As Artesian, you might know, you might not know, but there's a rumor that Artesian has bought Severn Trent. Have you heard that?
They're doing what?
Have bought Severn Trent?
No.
The one that is,
I-
I'd say it's a rumor. I'm just asking if you know anything about it.
We haven't heard anything. Severn Trent's a huge
I know, but
corporation.
I'm saying that's what we've heard. Have you heard that, anything about that, Louis?
No.
Several trends owned by global corporation.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was the first question. What have happened, what's the status on the well that you spent a lot of money on Frenchtown Road? What's going on with that? Is that a done deal now? You're not looking into that or
No,
anything?
we have been looking at it. We're waiting for
We're
MDE.
done with, we've done our part.
Yeah.
Sitting in MDE, we had public informational hearing, and they're evaluating comments, and as soon as they're done evaluating comments, we're going to do a draft permit with conditions for us to review. The last communication I had with the water supply people was about a month ago, and they said it would be probably 3 to 4 months.
But that's still active though?
Oh, yeah.
You're working with it, okay. If you don't get grant money for this community center, how's that gonna work? If you don't get grant money? I mean, you're gonna pass all this cost off to the town to the taxpayers?
But I think we just have to, we're still looking into it. We're still
I know
looking at all
that, but what I'm saying is.
We're gonna certainly discuss it and see if everything's available, if we can make it work, we'll
I
make
just
it
want
work.
to know where the status was on that.
Okay.
Now, the signs, you were having a study on signs coming into the town about the tractors and trailers, directing them off of Main Street.
Right.
In the last 3 or 4 days, we've seen any number of tractor trailers being backed up from Main Street. There's no signs up that I can see. Why can't the town just go to the sign maker up here? I know it's a state road or a county road, state road. Why can't the town go up here, get a sign made, a couple signs made up, put them out there? Why do you have to wait for a study from somebody from Wilmington?
We don't have to, because like you
Well, why
just
don't
said,
you do
it's a state road. And we
I
don't-
know that.
We have no control.
I know that. What I'm saying is, the last meeting you had about the signs, it was Wimco came in here and talked about a study for signs. Am I correct or not?
Right.
Okay. That's been 6, 7 months ago, right?
Right.
And nothing's been done. The same thing, the tractor trailers are still coming down. Their GPSs are showing them to come down North Street rather than 213.
Right.
And I think that if you would have larger signs, that I think that the town could work with the state and say, can't we put some larger signs up here to direct this traffic off from 279 and not direct it down into downtown?
There are 2 signs right on the other side of the
Yeah,
bridge there.
I
know this,
question
but
that
your
also,
signs
but
you
they're
would-
so small, it takes about 10 times to ride by to see them.
That's correct. You're correct.
I agree. This week has been one after another.
Right.
Louis, would it be possible, High Street is ours, correct?
Yeah.
Can we put one on the corner on our property of High Street that they would see that says trucks turn here? And, or, no, I mean, can we do that?
No, we can't lawfully place, without the permission of the state highway, place signs that affect our highways. Doesn't mean we couldn't, I just don't know what the ramifications would be. Of course, by the time they got around to getting a letter from the Attorney General, we could be 10 years.
But even if it's on our property, I mean, because
No,
really,
it's
it
not
has
the- It's not the
been,
fact that it's on our property, if it's on our property or any private property that affects the state highway. It's like, I think American and Hubbard ran into the issue about the flashing sign, you know, how it affects the traffic on 213 on Bridge Street. I think they had an issue with that too.
But-
And it's on their private property and it's for their private business, but it still affects traffic on a state highway.
but look, but Norman, if we were just to use simple words, that trucks must turn here, I mean,
What you're doing then, and I understand what you're saying. And when I say, yeah, go for it, but the fact is that Lewis is right. Even though you put it on your property, you're interfering with the traffic flow on their highway. That's what it is.
Oh, I haven't heard all that. What is a quick fix or a temporary dilemma to prevent that? And that's all he's asking.
what is it?
We're asking for how to resolve
do
it.
anything about it.
Yeah.
You've already done it. Trouble is, you're going to end up with a problem. Where you're going to turn and go down Bow Street.
We understand that, Norman. I'm saying right now to Lois, what is a temporary fix?
Sorry.
If they see a sign that says trucks fined $150 this road, I bet you they won't turn. Now,
Word
that-
gets
that
out
would
there
stop
on
it.
their,
Their GPSs are wrong, is what's happening.
It
The
is.
GPS is wrong. It's not the truck driver's fault, the GPSs are wrong. But if you had a larger sign out on 279 to direct them to 213, you would eliminate a lot of problems. And I would certainly think that somebody could get in touch with the state highway department and say, this is our problem, can't we do something about it? I don't see why Wimco in Wilmington is the one doing a study on it. You're here, this is Elkton, it's not Wilmington. I know that they do a lot of stuff in Wilmington and around here too, but this is the town's problem.
Do we have results from that study?
Yeah.
we had, I think, didn't we talk separately, besides the Wilmacco,
So what-
that had nothing to do with the sign study, that we did have them here specifically for these trucks coming downtown onto Main Street. And I
What
rode
is that saying?
up and down, because that sign you cannot see. And if a tractor trailer driver is going by directions, they can't see that sign.
You're absolutely right.
They cannot see that sign.
You're
And that's
absolutely
why
right.
I said to them, why can't we have a bigger sign? That was standard. It was standard.
Well, that's fine.
And, but standard isn't working and you cannot see it. So we need something larger on our property that gets them to stop before they get there.
They'll be in the meeting tomorrow, right? We can bring this up tomorrow.
Where?
Want it be at the MMA meeting?
State highway?
On the highway?
State highway is,
Some state highway
Well, let's
people.
bring it up
yeah.
tomorrow.
No, are they coming tomorrow? Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
Well, when they talk about the turn down on Main Street and north to Main Street, when the state highway department said a professional truck driver should make that turn. Well, none of those people have ever been professional truck drivers. A professional truck driver can back all the way up that street. Now, he's a professional, and that's what they do. Because the worst thing you do with a trailer, if any of you ever trailer a boat or anything, the hardest thing to do in the world is to back straight up. Okay. Lewis mentioned citations for trash collection picked up. They were going to send a bill to the proprietor, the owner down here on where the old town hall used to be. What has been done with the buildings that have been questioned for many times that have been burned out in town and they're still sitting there? Some of them with the backs burned out of it with no covering whatsoever. Have these attorneys that own these properties, have they been sent letters, and what's the status on that?
I don't know what property.
You what?
Which property is burnt out?
Right down here that Fokker boy owns on West High Street.
Yeah, we met with Bonsler.
What's the result then?
He met with us and he's gonna board it, take the vegetation out and board it up.
Okay, so is it condemned?
No,
It's not condemned. It's inhabitable, but it's not condemned.
it's inhabitable but not condemned. Doesn't present a danger to the public.
I don't have any more questions. One thing, another issue that 4th of July 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I had to get into Bill McCool's office to drop something in his mailbox. I was propositioned 2 different times by women, and they looked at me at my age and thinking, what the hell are they looking at? Propositioned 2 different times, and I saw drug deals right there on the street with 4 people pulled up in a SUV, blew the horn at a certain way. A guy gets on a bicycle out of the back of those properties, not Bill's properties, but the building right next to him, came riding out, did the drug deal right there in front of everybody. It's everywhere, particularly on Main Street in Elkton. And I don't know what the answer is to it, but it doesn't give the town a very good image at all.
Okay, Commissioner Gibbons called for a closed meeting, so do I have a motion for a closed
Call
meeting?
meeting now,
Huh?
calling for the meeting time at this time.
Yeah,
Okay.
do I have a motion? Closed meeting?
I said that
You
earlier.
say, well, make it down and we can get, all right, Charlie's made a motion, have a second?
Second.
Yeah, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those abstained? Motion carried. We will not be reconvening.
Never.